Okay, hello guys, welcome back. Yeah, um, yeah, crazy day today. We all, saw what happened in Venezuela. We did go through the whole event here. We went through the press conference that Trump gave, and there's been a lot of development that have come out after that. So we're just gonna go through that. We're gonna talk about all of that. What else been happening? A lot of stuffs. So you're gonna start to see different, effect, of the raid, on Nicolas Maduro, and that's what is really happening now. Also, the vice president of Venezuela did speak. She's asking for the proof of life of Nicolas Maduro. She wants to see is the guy still alive? If he's alive, then let me see. Show me proof that the guy is still alive. I know the guy is still alive. That's the president of Venezuela. I think he did surrender. If he didn't, it would have been a different thing. So I'm just gonna start from that. I'm on the White House page right now, and yeah, you could see different things. Elon Musk has said, "Congratulations, President Trump. This is a win for the world and a clear message to evil dictators everywhere." Yeah. So again, Elon Musk had X banned in Venezuela. After this guy got to power, he said he was going to ban X for 10 days. And those in Nigeria also would definitely know one or two things about that. I'm just saying. Okay. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. Let me see. Just one few sec. Okay. So that being said, I'm just gonna go through that, and then we'll see what happens. So now, different reaction has been trailing what has happened. In the aftermath of the arrest of Maduro. I see Nicolas Maduro on board the U.S. Iwo Jima. Okay, Maduro on board the U.S. Iwo Jima, and this is how it was dressed. And you've seen different memes from these. We saw some actually characterizing him as a DJ, and we've seen different footage of that. Okay, that's cool. Let me see, and this is just coming from the White House. This is from Venezuela. Thank you, President Trump. Unimaginable happiness after 27 years of socialist oppression. Actually, 1999. That was when that happened. That happened in 1999. So hopefully, many young America will change their mind about the empty promises of socialist demagogues that could destroy the nation. Socialism is the worst cancer there is. It destroys the richest nation. Again, that's one thing from there that you could glean. And let me just see if I can have this one play out here.
Gracias al presidente de Estados Unidos. Yo solo estoy esperando hace años. Cómo he sufrido, cómo no han hecho daño, cómo han matado a mis hermanos. Ay, esto ha sido horrible, mira.
¿Cuántos años tiene usted aquí en los Estados Unidos? ¿Hace cuánto se fue de Venezuela?
Ay, tenemos aquí 8 años ya. 8 años porque...
So they killed our older brother, and it was hard. They kidnapped my brother, and it was hard. And I thank God. All this because it's been hard. Thank you very much. Okay. When Venezuela now, where are you from? Maracaibo. To those people who are watching this excitement, Venezuela right now, to Venezuelans who have been the focus of the news, but because of what is happening, yeah, and because of the exodus of Venezuela and the migrants stay strong. Okay. Yeah, we have hope for everything. We're going to be a prosperous country, and we're all going to go out and enjoy this moment. Yeah, and that's just one, being portrayed here. The celebration still goes on. I think we watched this earlier today. Me welcoming my American brothers and sisters in Venezuela to thank President Trump for capturing Nicolas Maduro. Saying Elon Musk, you are also welcome too. This is that and that. And again, the White House also did post an interesting meme with respect to that. So this is congratulations, Donald Trump. Okay, this is, let me see that. And the White House is actually reposting a lot of stuff. This is, let me see this one.
Last night, on the order of the President of the United States, and in support of a request
let me just read this. Okay, that's
from
fair.
the Department of Justice, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro.
Nicolas Maduro had his chance until he didn't. He effed around and he found out.
This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. But don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well.
Okay, that's a good edited shots from the White House saying that if you have around, you're gonna find out. Again, that's it. Nicolas Maduro had his chance until he didn't. The Trump admin will always defend American citizens. And now the group of Republican lawmakers, you know, they're now having press conferences on the Venezuela issue. And this is the aftermath of the capture. That's your president. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. So let's listen to this. Let's see if we can have something.
Officials, we got officials from Broward and so many others, and so thank all of you for being here. January 3rd marks a historic day, clearly for the Venezuelan people and for our entire hemisphere, and also for the national security interests of the United States of America.
Okay. Sorry about that.
We warned that what we were seeing in this hemisphere was not political theater. It wasn't a show. That this was real. That the President of the United States had been very clear about his policy. The day of accepting the death of American citizens, the poisoning of our youth, the destabilization of our hemisphere are over. And time again, and I thank all the members of the press, we kept saying it. And we got a lot of questions that we kept saying, just watch, because it is a new world under the leadership of this president. I've also said on multiple occasions to many of the members of the press that I was convinced that to Maduro there were three options that he had left, and that one of them was about to close out. I thought we had the option of leaving, and it's very clear that the President of the United States, through his Secretary of State, the brilliant Marco Rubio, offered Maduro many ways to find an exit path to get out of the country. So I kept saying that was one option that was going to close. The other two options I thought were either the Noriega option or the Soleimani option. Well, President Trump, when Maduro did not accept or did not believe what the president was saying, President Trump decided on that option, to use the brave men and women, those volunteers of the United States Armed Forces, to go get him in Caracas and bring him to justice. And let's remember who we're dealing with. We're dealing with a man who was under indictment in the Southern District of New York for drug trafficking and multiple other offenses, just like, by the way, Noriega had similar offenses. Well, we have been accepting and tolerating and seeing the death and the poisoning of countless young Americans. We've seen boats and airplanes come across come north from the south, and we were able to only intercept a very small percentage of those.
Okay.
And for so many years, the attitude of different administrations was like, so what? Those days are over. It is an important day for the American people. It is a crucial day for the entire hemisphere, and it is the one thing that all of us have all been saying. we've all been saying, and you've heard me say this time and time again, that the solution, the real solution for the Venezuelan people was total, absolute democracy and freedom returning to Venezuela. And because of President Trump and the United States Armed Forces, that day has already begun. I also, I am going to make some references in Spanish, but I also remind all of our friends from the press, and a lot of us have known each other for many, many years. You've heard me say this time and time again. I said this in the 4 years that President Trump was out of the White House, and I said it after he came back, that I was convinced that the tyranny, this anti-American narco-terrorist regime in Venezuela, the tyranny in Cuba, and also the tyrannical dictatorship in Nicaragua, I've said it multiple times, I believed that they would have not survived another 4 years of Trump in the White House.
So I guess this is a press list of. So yeah, on and on and on. This is a group of Republican lawmakers. So I just wanted to just get an overview of what's happening, and yeah, we'll see that. Extraordinary images out of New York, where Nicolas Maduro has now arrived. Also, now is now in the United States, expected to be arraigned in the coming days. Wow.
But we are also obviously getting reaction from allies of the president here at home, in Congress, his rivals. It's largely falling along party lines, I can tell you, Gotti, as we continue to watch these extraordinary images out of New York, where Nicolas Maduro has now arrived in the United States, expected to be arraigned in the coming days. But we are all.
Okay, so again, I think the vice president of asked for proof of life and all that. So I guess it's now in New York. The New York mayor, the newly elected mayor, has come to speak and said, well, this wasn't a justifiable action, that you couldn't, that U.S. shouldn't have gone in, to capture Nicolas Maduro. That's Mandami, right? That's his name, right? Talking that. But again, yeah, it's coming to his doorstep. I guess it's a signal. You go socialist way, you mess things up, the hand is not always good. There's also another meme coming from the White House handle. Look at it here.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Okay, so that's Trump's team tweeting this. Again, saying this is it. This is what it is right now, from the White House after it was captured. And then they put out this, no games, F around and find out. Okay, that's from the White House handle. We've got a very great guy who is more into content. Okay, nobody creates content as much as Trump does. Again, and that's it. I'm going to move back to my base, which is Nigerian news. Okay, just wanted to give you an update. This is Emmanuel Macron. The Venezuela people are today rid of Nicolas Maduro dictatorship, and can only rejoice. By seizing power and trampling on fundamental freedom, Nicolas Maduro gravely undermined the dignity of his own people. The upcoming transition must be peaceful, okay, democratic, and respectful of the will of the Venezuelan people. We wish that President Edmundo González Urrutia, elected in 2024, can swiftly ensure this transition. I'm currently exchanging with our partners in the region. France is fully mobilized and vigilant, including to ensure the safety of its nationals during these uncertain times. And then someone says, you are in bed with Trump on this. I see. Like, what are you talking about? And then also Peter Obi, grassroots, this same crime you are committing in Nigeria in collaboration with Bola Tinubu against the Nigerian people will not go unanswered. Those who trample on the will of the people deserves arrest, justice, and full accountability. Christian Stance United. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's that about that. Seriously, then what was this, Mr. President? They're asking him that if Maduro was a dictator, what exactly were you doing with him? Okay, yeah, I think France will always move with whoever is in power. Again, that's it. I mean, this is a Trump operation, so I'm not sure if France really has any on it. But then it's also going to side on whichever direction the trend is moving, and that's it. Okay, so that's it about that. I hope people now understand the president of the United States is not a game player. That's the Secretary Marco Rubio. It says when he tells you he's going to do something and addresses a problem, he means it. It's retarded or retarded IB. Well, again, I think that has already been taken off again. God bless United States military. Operation Absolute Resolve. Oh, that was the name of the operation that actually took Nicolas Maduro in. And yeah, that's it. I learned that the VP is now in charge. I just want to see that before I move on. VP Venezuela. I think that she's now been sworn in. I just want to confirm that. Yeah, let's see that. She asked for the proof of life. Spain, Sanchez rejects Maduro regime and the U.S. intervention. In Venezuela. This is another world leader. Okay, let's see. Trump said he will let Delcy Rodrigo, the Venezuela vice president, keep her position because she told Secretary Rubio she's willing to do what she needs to do. Meanwhile, Reuters is reporting that that VP Rodriguez is in Russia. Wow. So if she's in Russia, then what happens? VP Delcy Rodrigo with a public address strikes a defiant tone, vowing that Venezuela will not submit to any empires or accept foreign dictates, and demanded the release of President Maduro. I mean, it's either she play games or she doesn't. If she doesn't play game, then she's out. She's out. Seriously, great times ahead. Oh, we're gonna see. This is just the third day of January, and you have all this drama. Ex-VP. This is Punch newspaper from my base, Nigeria. Okay, saying that the ex-VP Harris rejects Trump Venezuela intervention. I mean, she's not the president, so it doesn't really matter. But again, yeah, it's our opinion. Trump said today he had been in contact with Delcy Rodriguez, right? Venezuela VP, and the woman who runs the secret police. She's the woman who runs the secret police. She said she was now president and will be working with her to run the country. She denies this in a speech condemning U.S. aggression. Let me see if I can get that speech out. Then we can go from there. Pronouncement of regime change in Venezuela appears premature. Nobody announced a regime change. The fact that Trump said is ready to work with you, the VP, that doesn't sound like a regime change. Except I'm missing something. Okay, I think I got that clip. Let me just see what she has to say. Government around the world, okay, are simply shocked that the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela is the victim and target of an attack of this nature, which undoubtedly has a Zionist sting. Okay, it is truly shameful. Okay, our father's liberator said it in the Jamaican letter. The veil has been torn. Okay, and they want to drag us back into darkness. The chains have been broken. We have already been free, and our enemies intend to enslave us again. Okay, if there's one thing that the Venezuela people are clear about, it is that we will never again be slaves. All of Venezuela is mobilized, and the decree that has already been signed by President Maduro, the only president of Venezuela. There's only one president in this country, and his name is Nicolas Maduro Moros. Okay, we'll see how that goes, bro. We'll see how that goes. If she doesn't want to play game, I guess she's on her way out. But she has to do that also so that they won't say that she's a backstabber, right? She has to put on this press conference and sound tough. And Trump would definitely ride with that, I believe. She sounds tough, like, you know what, there's nothing that you guys can do to us. But then behind the scene, he's telling Trump, what else do you want? You want more proven oil reserves? Oh, yeah, we're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to you. So again, I wouldn't go by what's happening just basically on a press conference. I want to know what she agreed with Trump on. What were the deals? Is she playing double agent? I don't know. I'm just saying. We need to know what's happening. Yeah, female VP in Venezuela takes over. Venezuela vice president has agreed to hand over the control. Yeah, but then they're saying that she's saying no, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens with that. She's demanding proof of life, and I think we just saw the Maduro also come out. VP J.D. Vance says that we did this regime change for 2 reasons. Drug trafficking must stop, oil must be returned. Drugs, only 0.5% of cocaine that comes to the US is from Venezuela. Zero fentanyl. 100% of our fentanyl comes from Mexico. Oil 2 decades ago. Venezuela screwed over 2 US oil companies. Respectfully, last I checked, corporate retribution was not in the top 100 reason I voted. So this is a Trump supporter saying that he has no right to actually go into that. This is Thomas Mercy. Thomas Mercy is one strong enemy of Trump, even though he's a libertarian, in the House. He says when Trump says Venezuela stole oil from the United States, he's talking about projects by oil companies that were nationalized by the government of Venezuela 2 decades ago. No one campaigned on using our soldiers to overthrow Venezuela to make this oil company whole again. Okay, yeah. So again, that happened in 2007, okay, by Hugo Chavez of Venezuela. But we'll see what happens. That's that about that. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, there's only one president, and we've seen that one. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The vice president affirmed that Nicolas Maduro is the only legitimate thing. Yeah, I'm now repeating myself. So again, I just want to move on. I think that's the update that we have, from Venezuela, and that's that about that. We'll see what happens. Maduro is in New York right now, so he's gonna face trial, and then we'll take it from there. Iran protest escalates into its 7 days with calls for regime change. That's another interesting stuff. There's been 359,000 tweets, about that. Wow. Protests swept Iran starting December 28, 2025, triggered by soaring inflation and a collapsing currency that eats merchants and families hard. Crowds in over 100 sites across 22 provinces now demands regime change, cheering exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and even U.S. President Trump, while Supreme Leader Khamenei, labeled them enemy mercenary and vowed no mercy. Security forces fired on demonstrators in Isfahan, killing at least 10, including 22-year-old Saga Etemadi, as Pahlavi urged defections and the world watches amid internet blackout. So that's really what is happening right now in Iran. I've been wanting to cover this, just to also give a perspective. So what is Elon Musk saying to the Supreme Leader? Okay, let me see. We will not give in to the enemy. And then Elon Musk replied, okay, so he tweeted in English, we will not give in to the enemy. And then this is who? This is the Supreme Leader, Iran's Supreme Leader. Okay? And then this is Trump now replied in Arabic. Let me see what Trump is saying here. Let me see if I can get that translated. Let me just ask Grok what Trump is saying. Okay, so Elon Musk replied, the Iran Supreme Leader, we will not give in to the enemy, with Persian phrase translating, what a vain imagination, amidst escalating economic protests that have killed at least 16 since late December 2025. The response posted on January 3. Okay, and that's it. Almost 3 people. Is Persian Indian meaning what a vain hope? Yeah, President Trump is serious. He's a serious and well-determined man. Okay, because from Israel, Palestinian war to Iran nuclear apocalypse to Chinese fake superpower, bragging fiasco to Russian North supremacy is the best. Yeah, it's I mean, it's a lot of conflict really to handle at such a short time, and we'll see where that leads. Again, I still don't know if Iran is something that Trump want to actually get. I know it actually helped Israel with the taking out of the nuclear stuff, but we'll see what happens. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. Iranians in occupied Iran fighting against Khamenei. I hope I get that name right. And terrorist Islamic regime are cheering for President Trump. Pahlavi is our king. Trump is on our side. God bless America. And then they are chanting the unalive words to the supreme leader. Let me see if I can see it. This is our final battle. Okay. Okay. Long live the king. Cheering for President Trump. Saturday, January 3. Wow. Iranians in occupied Iran are cheering for Trump. Okay. So again, people on the ground are kind of, saying, oh, we need Trump. But again, I don't know how that will work. We're going to be watching and see what happens. Trump has also been telling them that they should stop eating the civilians. The city of Hamadan was taken by the protesters, and the cities and the only city of QOM, I can't pronounce that, only 150 kilometers from Tehran, is being taken over in large part by the protester. The regime is cornered. Let me see this one. Wow. Okay, yeah, so this is another city being taken over. Let me see. Elon Musk just replied to Khamenei in Persian, is on our side. Yeah, Elon Musk is on the side of the protester. An Islamic regime in Iraq has shot and murdered a 22-year-old Saga Ethemadi. All she wanted was freedom. So this beautiful lady has fallen to the brutality of the Iranian regime, and she is no. Okay, so this is another post from the supreme leader. He's been actually active on social media. Let me see the translation here. We will make the enemy kneel. So that's it. We will make the enemy kneel. That's another post from him. Gridlock. Okay, yeah, historic scene in Tehran, and I think Tehran is one of the major bases. Tehran in Iran as anti-Islamist regime. Pro-Shah protests rapidly spread across multiple neighborhoods. Streets are gridlocked in southern Tehran, Nazabad district, as protesters chant for the fall of the regime. Share this for the world to see. Okay, so this is Tehran, and that's becoming more serious. That's close to the seat of power. Okay, so again, yeah, I mean, this is late at night, so it's not that kind of. You can see again Tehran right now. 7 hours ago, protesters are not leaving the street. The longer this drags, the better our odds are. Okay, the regime has not been able to squash this protest despite unleashing live ammunition and tear gas on defenseless people. Again, nothing can stop, the idea will stand as come. Okay, this is another one. Let's see. Okay, so this is the guy that they're saying that it should be that they need him in Tehran. Let me see what he's trying to say. Ali Khamenei, terrified of the wave of the national uprising, emerged from his hiding place and threatened the people of Iran. Khamenei, we the people of Iran will drag you down from your shaky seat, just like Zahak, and free our Iran from the evil of you and your regime. The military and security forces do not tie your fate to the sinking ship of the Islamic Republic. Join the people and separate yourself from the corrupt regime. Your weapon are for defending the people, not suppressing them. Those who fire bullets at the people can be sure that they will be identified and punished. Fellow compatriots, do not abandon the street. Expand your presence even further. The world sees your steadfastness and bravery and supports you. I don't know who this guy is. Let me see who he is. Who is Reza? Okay, so he's yeah, that was a direct response, you know. Okay, so he was born in 1960 in Tehran and is the exiled crown prince of Iran and the eldest son of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the last Shah of Iran, and Express Farah Pahlavi. He was officially named crown prince in 1967. In 1978, at age 17, he left Iran for U.S. Air Force pilot training just before the 1979 Iranian Revolution overthrew the monarchy. Wow. Wow. So this is more like the rightful guy, an established, under Ayatollah Khomeini. Unable to return, he has lived in exile primarily in the United States ever since. Trained as a jet fighter pilot, he earned a degree in political science from the University of Southern California. He's married to, blah, blah, blah. For 4 decades, he's been a prominent figure in Iranian opposition, advocating for a secular democratic Iran with respect for human rights. So this is the guy that they're now saying that they really want. Trump seriously is a realist. For me, he's a determined man with one face, only to do the needful. If all American president had gone this way, I'm sure things wouldn't have gone this way. Yeah, I mean, if American presidents have gone this way, I guess we won't have those. Right now, we won't have all the major industry, of America outsourced to China. I would say that, but yeah, that's the reality that is facing us right now, and really, we'll see what happens. Clashes have erupted. This is 3 hours ago between the anti-Islamic regime and the pro-Shah Iranian protesters and IRCG terrorists of the Islamic regime in Tehran, southern Nazabad neighborhood. Regime agents are firing live rounds at civilians. Please share so the world can see. Wow, this is not good. Let me see. Yeah, it's late at night. This is happening, so that's just crazy. Wow. Wow. Again, this is always the argument for those who are in favor of the First Amendment. This is what they always say, the First and the Second Amendment. But really, I wanted to say the Second Amendment. But again, the First Amendment always do guarantee the Second Amendment and vice versa, right? Is that at the end of the day, the government seems to be the one that does the major violence. When you look at the powers that they have all the weapons and all that. And the proponent of the Second Amendment is saying that right shall not be infringed upon. Okay, so again, when you look at the Second Amendment, that is the justification, not even to go hunt, as people would rightly say. I mean, self-defense is also important, but they're saying that the Second Amendment is a sure bet. Should the government become a rogue, then you have the right to defend yourself. Because right now, the Iranians don't have Second Amendment. Okay, so all they have is just their voice to shout and to try, to actually make their own case known. But we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah. Again, yeah, so this is the... Oh boy. Yeah, again, we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, massive crowd. Okay. Protesters are taken to the street in Tehran. Tehran's half-old square, chanting death to the dictator, directly targeting Khamenei and his terrorist regime. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Breaking news, okay. May have committed crimes against humanity in Maleshashi County. Okay, yeah, let's see that. Okay, so that's what we've got as of now. Still following up what's happening in Iran, and then we'll see where that leads. Now, this is Mashhad, Iran. Massive traffic jam and crowd of protesters have gathered. Mashhad is reporting massive protest tonight, Saturday, January 3, 2026. Let me see. How come all the cars seems like it's white? Okay. Okay, that's another the stuff. We'll see. Iran crowns prince. Yeah, I think we've read that message. We the Iranian nation will drag you down from your trembling throne like Zahak and free our Iran. Okay, that's that. Let me see. This. Let me see if I can actually do this. I guess that's the lady that was unalived. And then the regime is not giving. They're not backing down. Okay, they're gonna continue this, and until possibly when they don't. Iran Wire is reporting, that was 7 hours ago, that at least 20 protesters were killed in Malay Shashi in Ilam province, with at least 30 others listed in critical condition. Trump warned Iran about this. Okay, and we'll see. Okay, we've seen the footage where they did open fire. And then a young woman in Iran dancing with her hair uncovered to the regime. That's 2 crimes: no hijab and no dancing. To the world, she sees a symbol of courage. Okay, I mean, let people be free to do whatever they want to do as long as they're not committing harm, crimes, right? Okay, yeah, that's that. Now, this is Trump's tweet to Iran. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will continue to their rescue. We come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President G.J. Trump. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah. And again, that's the update. General Mike Flynn is saying that freedom is the best narcotic. No big media are talking about this. Another dictator's days are numbered, and it will be women who will win the day in Iran. Yes, the global geopolitical situation is complex, and we must take care of American first. But to be in the position we're in, America must also remain the true North Star for all freedom and loving people around the world. There will be hell to pay for people right here in America now that one dictator is ready to talk. Count on it. Okay. Yeah. So again, that's that with respect to what's happening in Iran. 30 people have been killed. Trump has issued another warning, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Enough of international news. A lot has been happening in Nigeria. And this channel is basically dedicated and focused, to the homeland, Nigeria, and things happening around there. But there's been other stuff also happening, around the world that I just said we should talk about. But I think we'll have to go back to Nigeria and look at what's been happening. Most Iranians are not Islamic. They are like 30% Muslims and others, but Islamists took over after they dethroned their monarch in 1979. That's and unfortunately, even all these other places too, Afghanistan and all that, when you see their pictures, in the 50s, it was more like a secular place. All these other countries too, right? Syria and all that. And then all of a sudden, these Islamists take over, and then they force every one of them to start wearing a covering, and that's quite unfortunate. I hope that doesn't happen in the United Kingdom in the not too distant future with what's happening over there. I personally think with what has happened to Maduro, has given much respect to the nation. I personally think with what has happened to Maduro, that has given much respect to the nation of America, the military strength, and the rulership of the world superpowers. I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's and that's it. I think also, given that the operation went successful, that also increased the standing of the U.S. Across the world. But what's even fascinating is the fact that the dictator Nicolas Maduro was actually meeting with a Chinese official just a few hours before, and they couldn't even save his life. I mean, save him, right? He's still alive though. They couldn't even save him, and that's quite the interesting thing that happened. So the fact that you're meeting with China doesn't mean that if you do wrong, you won't pay. But we'll see what happens. I'm kind of surprised that China doesn't even have so much military bases around the world. I think their strategy is more of economic dominance, and that's what they're actually working hard. And then we'll see how that flies. Okay, let's go back to Nigeria, where the whole politics is actually, we started the year with a bang, with Peter Obi defecting to ADC, and it's been interesting. I'm gonna just look at what's happening. Okay, a Nigerian minister urges diaspora to return with discipline for success. So all you guys listening to me, that you are not in Nigeria, there is an express command that you need to go back to Nigeria. Minister says diaspora return with discipline for success. So this is Umai, I think Dave Umai, right, speaking. There's no country like Nigeria when it comes to opportunities. Some Nigerians living abroad obey rules and traffic laws over there. When they return them, they abandon those same practices. If they put in the same level of hard work in Nigeria as they do abroad, they would succeed even more, 100 times better than overseas. Dave Umai, let me see what that says.
They will be in overseas and they'll be talking all kinds of trash. All kinds of trash. They will obey traffic rule. They will walk 21 hours. But they come here, they carry water and be going up and down. And they will disobey traffic rule.
Yeah, maybe when the politicians start obeying the rules, then maybe when people come in, they will obey the rules. You cannot just start, dragging foreigners. Meanwhile, people in government, politicians, flout that same rule. People in government steal with reckless abandonment. And you want people to come back to Nigeria and you're saying they're not obeying the law. It's quite unfortunate. The incidents of Anthony Joshua comes to mind. I mean, assuming there has been effective enforcement of the speeding rules and all that, maybe those guys will still be alive today. But because nobody's really, being held accountable when all these things happen, it becomes a big problem.
We disobey everything. They don't want to work. But when out there, they will be criticizing. They see nothing good in Nigeria. If you work 1/10 of the way you work in overseas, you will make 100 times money than over there.
Oh.
There is no country that is like Nigeria. There is no place you can make it like Nigeria. The Bible says, let's eat and stay still no more. But you should work and have to give to those that will.
Wow. That's quite interesting.
And you say little sleep and a little slumber, what goes into poverty?
Okay, yeah. So that's just his own word for 2026. Work hard in Nigeria, you make more money. But there's no place you can succeed if not Nigeria. I mean, again, I don't even know what to say about this one. Let me just leave him. Ask him which countries his children currently in. I mean, that's a fair question. Yeah, that's a real fair question. Let me even see what people are saying based on this. Let me see. I'm beginning to think good men don't come from the womb of a Nigerian woman. Okay. Let's see. I've always say if there's airtime without number that you have more chances and opportunity of making it here in Nigeria than abroad if you truly know what you're doing. Dave, where are your children? Or do you want me to post pictures? I mean, all of them. Look at how gullible they are, laughing with the thief himself. People work 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 5 days a week and go home with peanuts at the end of the month. So working hard is not the problem. It starts at the top. Exactly. That's what I said. They obey laws in other nations because those countries uphold the laws and the system. Exactly. You can't be in a nation where laws aren't upheld and expect people to abide by them. they know the law won't protect them the way it does in other countries. So we have so many opportunities here in Nigeria, but one can take advantage from and make enough money in this country. But it's very unfortunate that many has already lost faith in our country, believing until they travel to Yankee, they will never make it. Again, that's David Umahi's point of view. There's another story that is going viral, okay? And it's quite... Pastor Aromio saying, I'm not going to comment on this, I think, but it's going viral, so I just have to share it. And this woman is always known to criticize people.
I saw 12 men.
Okay.
The garment they were wearing was like silk curtains, and they were high up into the heavens. When they spoke, their voice was like thunder, smashing. There was a committee that was set up. Committee of like 8 men. I only recognized 2 people, Abraham and Joel, prophet.
Okay. Okay.
On the table. The identity of Abraham was revealed. I knew, as if I knew him, and Joel. But there were 6 more men. No matter how I tried, I did not know their identity. And they formed a committee to check for people from the continent of Africa that could be used. I realized I was one of the 24 people picked from Africa. I recognized myself. The other people. So there was an elaborate screening. Past the first screening. I scored high. If I'm not mistaken, I was the first. Second screening was the next night. I was the first. Third screening, next night, I was the first. Fourth screening, the next night, I was still the first. I became confident. And then I was to be screened out at the 5th level.
Okay.
One of those elders on that table, because the conclusion was that screen out. One of the elders then stood up. I said, I know this man. And I don't know that elder. I've had a few heavenly encounters, recognized people, but I don't know that elder. It was on the basis of his recommendation. And he insisted that this one cannot be screened. So I greeted.
Okay, now it might just be a dream. It might just be a dream. I don't know. I don't know what was actually seen. But again, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go into it. Okay, so a lot has been happening in Nigeria following Peter Obi's defection to ADC, and just wanted to just do a catch up on all those stories and all those other things that has been happening. We did watch, the 3-hour stuff, and Aisha Yusufu has also now joined in, to join the ADC party following Peter Obi's move. And again, that's good. A move that has shaken President, Tinubu. Let's see let me just say this. I just want to be sure. Okay, this is Peter Obi's speech. We've listened to that, so I'm not going to listen to this again. There's been a lot of talk about what's been happening, following that. So ADC, we're going to be looking at ADC a lot more. And then we're then going to pivot back, to the general polity and what's been happening. At last, Peter Obi joins ADC. But again, some obedience are not really. He was on weed. I don't know about that. Some obedience are not really happy with what Obi has done. They're like, they can't see themselves, voting for a party or someone, that they feel that, fought against the people in ADC at this moment. But we're just going to start from that.
Mistake.
Okay.
Peter Obi has ever
we'll see.
His political career is to join ADC.
Okay, I think that's the best opportunity that he has if he's really serious about getting power. Again, and that's why, I keep repeating it, that, to be honest with you, we have to leave our personal sentiments and look at the reality on ground. you must be able to understand the game of numbers. Okay? You must be able to, if you don't understand the game of numbers, you just be frustrated. As long as Pierre is the flag bearer, I'm good. I don't think they're going to make him the flag bearer. Let's just leave that as is. I'm not so sure. I think what they're doing, they're playing a 2014, 2015 game the same way they did to Jonathan. That's what they actually want to do. To him. You want to see the speech? Which speech is that? Is it Peter Obi's speech or this guy speaking? Because we did actually go through the speech yesterday, and some I wouldn't want to bore us, but just let me know if it's the one. We can just binge watch that one.
Mistake. I will prove it to you in two different ways. One, but before I continue, do not come and start abusing me. In fact, watch my videos and see that I am a staunch supporter of PDP. In fact, people call me Obidiot. Okay. But that does not mean that if I see where he's making a mistake, I will not talk. Probably he may see it and correct the mistake. So I'm still a fan. One, you joined ADC. You left Labour Party. You left Labour Party. Why? You were in APGA. You left APGA. You were in PDP. You left PDP. To mention but a few, you were in Labour Party. You left Labour Party. And now ADC. Do you know what all these defections mean? It means you cannot handle those small parties. It means you cannot settle their disputes. It means you cannot organize them. That's what it means. Therefore, you leave. You are saying that when they go and get stuff, let us leave instead of get going. So now, those are small parties. You are leaving them without staying to organize.
Again, to be honest with you, I agree with this point. Peter Obi is not vast in running a political party. He doesn't have what it takes to run a political party. And again, that has been established. Okay. That being said, Labour Party is not a direct party of Peter Obi. He just used Labour Party as a vehicle. That actually gave him that prominence because he was able to garner like 6 million plus votes and was able to also reassert his influence in the Nigerian political space. But that being said, people were expecting more. Now, this individual that has never run a party, he didn't run APGA, okay? And then he didn't run PDP when he was there. Now in Labour Party, he didn't run Labour Party. So he didn't really grasp the dynamics that he needs to, put in place. And that's a big problem that he would have to confront. We as Africans are not developing for some reason, irrespective of the country. We are indisciplined. People who want to and are in power feel entitled and will lack accountability. I agree with you. For the Peter Obi speech. Okay, we're going to go back to that one.
If you stay and fix Labour Party, Nigerians will stand by you. It doesn't matter where you are. If you stay and fix Labour Party, then we will believe that you can fix Nigeria. If you cannot fix these small parties, how then can you fix Nigeria?
Yeah, I'll be listening to the voice of wisdom from seasoned politicians from the East and elsewhere in Nigeria. Obi has the best chances joining ADC because it guarantees wider reach of the structure in Nigeria. Yeah. I mean, given what, has befallen Labour Party, and I'm not just even trying to make an excuse for him because I didn't really like the way he actually handled Labour Party. But we'll see what happens. Peter Obi's defection to ADC, a move that has shaken President Tinubu and the APC. Okay, we're gonna move this back, but let me just see if I can binge watch. I'm gonna move a lot because most times Obi's speech is always Indonesia and all. But again, I'm gonna play.
White.
Okay.
Our own dear senior brother, distinguished Senator David Mark, the chairman of our nation and our dear father, Chief Simon Okeke, and all the elders that are here, because all the ex-governors here, apart from maybe my junior brother Emeka.
Okay, so he did greet all of them, and yeah.
Come 2027, we will resist it by every means possible. And we're urging this happened because we have weak institutions like INEC.
Okay, I understand why Europeans views us as okay, lower humans that can't govern themselves. Again, we're trying. We're trying. Hopefully, we fix it one day. When it says to mention a few, makes him a dumb lie. Fixed Labour Party when the government and INEC are making a mess of it. PO has high principles. Again, to be honest with you, I cannot get that. But at the same time, you've got to face the reality. This commenter has been brought over by the APC. Most people know that LP has been infiltrated by APC paid agents. Yeah. I keep telling people that Labour Party has always been affiliated to APC. Not just now. You know, the first governor of LP was Mimiko. And it was Tinubu that actually did help him in his fight to regain his mandate.
In the coming elections, we must do whatever it is to follow the rules and the regulations, starting by educational qualification for eligibility to sit for any election. We can no longer be where they are asking whether this person went to school or not. We have 1 year now to determine who went to school and who didn't go to school. We have 1 year now for people to tell us the school they attended. And when they left those schools, we don't want it to be something we go to court after election. They say it's pre-election matter. We have pre-election situation now to verify everybody who wants to contest the election in Nigeria.
I don't think you'll be able to disqualify Tinubu based on education. I mean, I think that ship has sailed. Again, that ship has sailed already.
We must follow that. Our commitment about Nigeria. In all my thought and everything, we are committed to a better Nigeria, and we found all the studies that we have followed religiously, and I'm going to mention a few to tell you why it is important what we are doing here today and why we must follow it, and know that two things are critical if we are going to turn around Nigeria. We must stay united. Nigeria today is not united. We must ensure the unity of the country. We must ensure we have competent leadership. Followed by studies.
Actually, he helped Oshiomhole then. Yeah, you know, that's his link, right? You know, he was a Labour guy, right? Yeah.
Where we have conflict, where we have strife, where there's disunity, and where there's unity, and what is brought about. Because of it, I've read several books in it, but I'm going to cite one which Professor Tommy knows very well. He took me to visit one of the best authors who wrote on conflict resolution and transformation. Because we're talking about transforming our country. And that took me to read a book by Professor Nicholas Fox of California University. And after reading that book, met with him alongside Professor Tommy, and after listening to him, I decided for the interest of what happened in Rwanda to visit Rwanda. I sat down, had the opportunity of sitting down.
Ladies can take power from APC if they can only get their ass together. Yeah, that's left to be seen. It's going to be an uphill battle, I said, but they have a shot at it now. Because Peter Obi brings in at least that bulk Southeast vote, I would say. But again, yeah, but they need to work. I mean, they only have a year. I don't even know. Like, they have a year, and what they have is ex-political gladiators, and then a few, in the National Assembly. Alex Otti is not moving with Peter Obi, so there's an indication that he might actually be working directly for someone else. I don't know, again, that's that. Dati, I've not seen Dati also move. I don't know why. So again, it's going to be a real uphill battle. But I also heard that Kwankwaso is actually looking at joining the ADC. If Kwankwaso joins ADC, that boosts them also. That gives a major boost to the ADC profile, because Kwankwaso has that bulk vote coming from Kano. Don't forget that guy is a very strong heavyweight when it comes to Kano politics. Pio is far the most nationally recognizable political asset within ADC. Yeah, any party serious about 2027 must leverage that reality. If ADC prioritizes electability over ego, Obi flies the flag. The problem with making Obi the flag bearer this 2027 was that it's going to be difficult for them to really garner a massive vote from the North. And I'm just saying this simply based on statistics. An average Northerner will be okay to vote a Muslim ticket. I mean, that was one of the things that they did use, in the last election. But we'll see. I might be wrong. But if they make him the VP for Atiku, yeah, possibly two of them, they have a chance at it. But then they need to also work on their structure, because right now, I think APC has consolidated the structures across state lines, across ethnic lines. No, Atiku can be his VP. Let's forget about that. That's not going to happen.
To listen what he did in reconciling and transforming that society, which showed me hope that it can happen here. And what he did, what he did, it is evidence that in 1995, if you look at it, the GDP per capita of Rwanda is $227. Today, it is $1,100, a growth of over 500%. While our own country, in 1995, the GDP per capita of 1,225, today we are below 1,000. 30 years after, for the giant of Africa. We cannot continue this way. Our people are in pain. That is why we are coming to talk about how do we unify our country. Following that particular visit and the differential showing the development of this country, I decided to go further. That took me to read another book.
Oh boy, this is a really read book.
Which is a book about Indonesia and Nigeria. Indonesia and Nigeria have the same similarity in population, high population.
That's true.
Cultural, economic structure, everything. However, after reading that book, I decided I'm going to take a tour of the United States to meet with Professor Louis personally. When I sat down with him, what he told me was more revealing and shocking than what I read in the book. And I decided to take a trip to Indonesia to see what they did. That took me to meet with the Minister of Planning of Indonesia, Minister of Education, Minister of Small Business, Minister of Small Villages, Minister of Health, and then the Vice President, and he was celebrated President in Indonesia, Joko Widodo, to know what they did. When you do all this, one thing is very clear: unity and competent leadership. Unity and competent leadership.
Okay. A lot of reading, a lot of research. The problem is that when you read all these things, I mean, we are all learned, right? We all read. We all try to. I mean, almost everybody have read one or two books. Reading is different from execution. In fact, planning is even different. Modeling, if you have a prototype, is easy. Execution is always hard. It's always crazy because there are different dynamics that you don't even think about. When you think this is how we're gonna do it, the reality is always different. But again, I applaud his reading ability. If ADC fails to zone their ticket to the south, automatically they will not win 2027. Man, I don't know if you're going to be able to prevail. Yeah, because you said VP can be Atiku. Atiku is not going to be a VP again for 8 years. He's been a VP for 8 years already, so he's not going to be a VP again for 8 years. So the only thing and the only pathway, again, it might be very difficult for Peter Obi to get the numbers from the North if he's the flag bearer. And I mean it. I'm not even trying to. So the only way they can actually bring down Northern prowess is to put Atiku as, and I'm not an Atiku fan, to be honest with you. I'm not even into his politics. But that's the shot. But again, we'll see. If they zone it to him, then what will be the plan? I think what I'm seeing right now is people saying Atiku does one term, and then Obi comes in 2031. I don't know if that would work, but that's the insinuation that we're having. And I learned that was the deal that they made with him. I don't know if that's true, but again, that's what we're hearing.
If you follow what they've been able to do, today Indonesia is a commendable success. We have moved now, they become one of the over 1 trillion economy. The first in Southeast Asia, 1.4 today, and the biggest economy in Southeast Asia with per capita of $5,300. When Nigeria, again lamentably, is today our GDP have halved from what it was 10 years ago to 240 and below 1,000 per capita. What did they do differently? Competent leadership and unity have shown what you can do. In all the studies, like I said, following that, you've listened where somebody who won a Nobel Peace Prize said, that's Nigeria knows what to do to prosper. The 2024 Nobel Peace Prize winner in economics said Nigeria knows what to do to prosper, but refuses to do it. Professor James Robinson of Chicago University. I spent 3 hours with him in Chicago University.
Okay, another meeting with the professor. I think you should support Obi by rallying his support base in the north. Obi should run with El Rufai. You don't want to put El Rufai on any ticket. All the Christians in the north would not vote for that ticket. All the Christians in the north would not vote wherever they say El Rufai. Don't let's forget, El Rufai was part of the last APC regime. Don't forget that. And even with that, APC is even they've kind of rejected him stylishly. If you go ask people in Southern Kaduna, they will tell you that they don't even want anything. Yeah, you should support Obi. I don't think Atiku would just want to support Obi on that. Remember, Atiku was the one that ran with Obi. Now, Obi has been able to grow his own weight. He grew his own weight. He's been able to run for presidency and he got 6 million, which is commendable. But Atiku will never forget that the reason why we don't have a president Atiku today is because Obi left PDP. So it doesn't work that way. Right now, they need to even prove him. They need to prove Obi. Because technically, he failed the loyalty test. With respect to Atiku, just Atiku, I'm not talking about the people. I'm just saying with Atiku. So it's not going to be that way. He's not going to step down for an Obi. Because they still feel that Obi did him strong thing then. Remember, Obi even called him the structure of criminality. But again, in politics, there's no permanent friend, there's no permanent enemy. Permanent interest is what is very important. It's clearly well read. And that's fine. But at this point, repeatedly emphasizing how many books he read add little value. What we need a clear, actionable step and practical plan. Thank you that you're saying that. I don't want that to only come from me. But again, he needs to, statistics is fine. Talking about Indonesia, China and all that, Hong Kong and all that is good. But again, you need to be able to talk at the level of what people want to hear. Unfortunately, that's politics. You have to tell them what they want to hear. And politicians, they have a few phrases that they always repeat all the time. So even if you ask them another question, they have a way they pivot, and default to another answer that they want you to learn. So I said it yesterday here, just worth repeating. Number one, Obi needs to do a serious work with his, I don't even know who the political advisors are. They need to actually kind of prepare for a lot of questions that will be coming out. One of the questions I believe that they're going to be putting out, and I guess the way he answered that wasn't even good, was the fact that they asked him, you were a governor in Anambra State. You didn't build one single new schools. Now, he built universities, or maybe higher institution, I don't know if it was a university. He built that, said he remade all that from scratch. He didn't even answer that. He didn't answer with that. He said, yes, he didn't build new university because he wanted to renovate existing one, which were already in a dilapidated condition. There's a better way to actually frame that. Again, this is politics. So he needs to really, really work on his delivery. There's some things that even people know this is the right answer. There's a way you have to put it out there. But again, people say, well, what about Tinubu that he doesn't even talk to the president? He doesn't even say anything. He doesn't even have a very good media stuff, and is the one reading today. So again, maybe that's a fair point. So again, I just think he needs to work on that.
What he has to say. It all boils down to unity, competent leadership that have capacity, has commitment and compassion to change socio-economic of the country. That is what we are lacking. And that's what we need to change. What they need is not rocket science. It can be done here and we'll get the same result. It is not rocket science. I've studied it, I've followed it all over. One thing that is common about all these leaders is that they build consensus of the people. And how do they do it? By being honest to them and telling them the truth. A leader must speak the truth. A leader must be trusted. A leader cannot be part of telling people one thing and doing the opposite. You must do the same thing. If you must have people to fast, you should not cease.
Yeah, that's fair. That's correct.
We can no longer sit in a country where our leaders tell us lie. We cannot. They are truthful people. They live a life of trust, and that is what is lacking here. We have a situation where we said we are fighting corruption, but we have fundamental corruption in front of us. We have a situation where we have closed our shop, chasing thieves, and allowing other people to back whatever remain in the shop away. We borrowed more money than we have ever borrowed. We saved all the money we are supposed to save, and yet our people are dying of hunger. There's insecurity. Nigeria has never seen this level of insecurity. We have never seen this level of hunger. We've never seen this level.
I think Tinubu's government and Tinubu's regime, they need to be held accountable for the security situation. Because, yeah, even though we all know that terrorism started while the PDP was in power, they've not been able to, to actually work something out. Buhari was there for 8 years, and he didn't even do anything that I can say permanently put the security situation at bay. Tinubu has been there for 2 years, and I've not seen any concrete plan. I mean, the only thing that we just saw that worked recently is just the airstrike by the United States. Now, there was a recent airstrike also that a lot of these terrorists were taken, were unalived, and that was done recently. But again, that's not a clear strategy. So again, these are things that the opposition really needs to hammer on. These are things that they need to really, really work on. They've actually allowed the Tinubu's regime to just get away with a lot of things. When all the odds were against Tinubu, he won. Now he's the president. Tinubu is a great politician. Okay, I'm talking about security. What has it done with respect to the security situation of the country?
Division, where our country is so divided that we have point of hating each other. I have traveled all over the place. And my appeal to all of us, to those who are visiting us, that we must come together united to be able to fight things. We can no longer allow those by dividing us. We can no longer allow those who live by making us poor. Nigeria is not a poor country. We are rooted into poverty.
Yeah, and again, when you talk about great politician, yeah, I mean, you might be a great politician, with respect to how to commandeer, your votes and all that. But that being said, also, you cannot also deny the fact that you need to put out some workings for people to know, like, okay, this is what you've been able to accomplish on the security front. I think there's still a lot that needs to be desired. Yeah, maybe some reforms are good, like you can say that. But in terms of security, I've not seen anything, unfortunately.
And we must stop that meeting. Nigerians are not lazy people. We've been betrayed. Nigeria, we can no longer continue rewarding criminals. We can no longer allow normalizing what is not normal. We must then change it. And to change it, we must come with unity of purpose. We're not talking about tax regimes. How can you, everybody who knows about physical policy knows that tax is a social contract. A social contract that when you empower your people, they become more productive and they pay you more tax. How can you tax people who are unemployed? We have 130 million people living in multidimensional poverty.
Yeah, again, in terms of how far will be any update from you? Yeah, I've actually spoken about that he needs to work on his delivery with respect to the how we address some of this issue. Yeah, with respect to tax, I think from the consensus that I've seen, I've been made to understand that the tax actually helps the poor, more. With the tax relief, the first 800,000 is not even taxed at all. So if you've been paying tax before, you should be actually getting some refunds. From what I've seen from the tax stuff, then those that are making a lot of money that have not been paying tax, and now you have the searchlight on them. So again, this tax thing, I still don't get. I think there's been a lot of misinformation from that. Possibly, maybe the information is not passing through the right channel. Maybe that's why.
80 million Nigerians, young Nigerians who are unemployed, and you're talking about tax. You can't grow revenue when people are starving. You cannot grow revenue by doing people into poverty. You must grow revenue is a bank account. You must pay in for withdrawal. This is for withdrawal without paying anything in. That must stop. And all of us here have a destiny to be part of that, to be part of that challenge. That's why we're here. We can't just say we are joining party. Where are we joining party? Are we joining party to continue the same criminality? Are we joining party to change that? We have become a peace, a crime scene. We're not called fantastically corrupt. We're not called disgraced nation. We now use everything. And now have gone around the whole state. I've been trying to get to Benue, in Plateau, in places where those who are government fear to go, or even fail to acknowledge publicly, denying it.
Another state governor is moving. Yeah, I saw that news. So it's the 15th of January. He's going to move on the 15th of January. But I learned that there's a rift between him and Kwankwaso, the Kwankwasia movement, that Kwankwaso is actually looking to join the ADC. Who's going to have more impact? I think Kwankwaso has this court-like following. But again, the governor on ground really joining the APC would be a big boost also for the APC. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to be watching that. I think the decision has been made already.
I've been there. I see the people's pain. I see their pain all over. So we must turn around our country. God gave us everything. No country in the world that I can imagine that have what Nigeria has today. How can we be hungry? A country of 923,000 square kilometers. Today we are importing rice. Because they're telling you rice is cheaper. We are importing the rice that makes our rice cheaper. from another country killing our farmers. When we should be doing it. Tiny country like Bangladesh. Bangladesh, a country with about 1/6 of our size, high population as we are, is producing 10 times what we are producing.
Pio stands out as a unique figure, especially when compared to the incumbent and other political contenders. That said, he still has significant work to do in refining his delivery and communication. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's a good man. But one other thing that people say or people actually argue when you bring that point that is a unique figure, of course. But also people talk about what's happening with respect to what it delivered as a whole, the whole framework. Okay. What did it deliver as the holistic delivery, for Anambra State? And that's where there's that conflict with, okay, fine, this guy is a good person. He's not going to steal your money. I can say that. But then people are saying that, okay, fine, you have all this money, all of that. What were you able to deliver as a whole, in Anambra State? That we can say that these were actually the structures. Now, they've talked about what he did with education and all of that. But in terms of the whole thing, how was he able to put things together? Because, again, not me, but people in Anambra State, have come out to say different things. Again, that being said, when you look at what happened when Soludo came in, Soludo also has come out to say, oh, this and that. Well, Anambra is still the gully capital of the world and all these other things. So that begs the question that he's a good man. He won't steal your money. He would save your money instead of stealing it, which is very good. I mean, that what makes him unique. But again, what happens to that? And again, I'm not even saying that just to slide in, but I'm just saying that that's a question. Given your understanding of what the new tax law portends for low-income earners, what's your opinion on the misleading rhetorics on the tax subject? So the thing is, it's a two-way thing. Okay, so if you're a salary earner, you've been paying tax, or even if you're a businessman but you've been diligent in paying your tax, you're gonna see maybe not significant, but you're gonna see a change. You're gonna be paying lower. But if you've not been paying tax before, so let's say you've been paying tax before, it's now at maybe 20-something%. Now they've reduced it to 23%. That means there's a 3 percentage point of advantage. But if you've not been paying before, now that you must be paying, declaring and paying, you're not paying the difference of the 3, you're paying the 23%. So most of the pushback is coming from, you will see a lot of content creators are coming out to say, why is it taxing us? Then again, the North also, they're kind of pushing back. And I don't even still understand, the story that comes from the North. Although notably also is the VAT, the VAT tax has also increased. So there's also that, objection to the increase in VAT. Okay, moderator, the only real Anambra people like me that can tell the impact of Obi's administration to the indigenous people, not opposition. Okay, so, you are an Anambra and you have this point. I just want to ask this question because this is one thing that I've always also tried to grapple my head around. There's been a lot of, talk and chat around Peter Obi's second term then, where there were a lot of people in Anambra that were kind of visibly opposed to him. Okay, and they had their own reason. I wasn't in Anambra. I could care less what happened then because I wasn't directly impacted. But then when they take their tweets in 2012, 2013, around the time when Obi was there, and they saw that it was negative, but when they compare to what happened in 22, 23, the same individual now has so many positive things to say about Peter Obi. So that begs the question, why were they around that period when Obi was the governor, vehemently opposed to him? And then now that he's running for president in 2023, it was like the best thing that ever happened. So that's another question that, people kind of try to wrap their head around. But that being said, I think if you look at the governors that we had in Nigeria, as when Obi was a governor, I would say that he actually was one of the good ones. It was one of the good ones because we were actually living in a country where even the people's vote didn't really matter. Then in the days of Maurice Uwu, what you just needed to do was to be able to clinch the ticket, for your governorship stuff from PDP, and automatically your next tenure is actually guaranteed. And it took a while. And that was why you had a lot of these people, the Mimiko of LP, Oshiomhole, all those, their mandates, they had to go through the court, to actually reclaim that. So that's what happens. Again, good man saved a lot of money, did some good work, built some industries also in Anambra. But I'm talking about when it comes to can you say that based on what he left in Anambra, there was that framework? Although people are saying I shouldn't be talking about him having a 50-year plan like other states do have, but we should just look at him based on what he did at the time. So I'm just trying to also compare. But in terms of that, I think one of the things that you could all actually attribute to Obi also was that he made Anambra more secured when he was the governor. Then I know people come to talk about some of the killings that happened then, but I would say that again, if you're doing right, maybe you won't be actually impacted by that.
In fact, you can compare Bangladesh with our two biggest states. Bangladesh is less than 150,000 square kilometers of land. Our two biggest states, Niger 76.3 and Borno 70.8, is about the size of Bangladesh. And we have a population of 171 million, yet they are producing 10 times the amount of rice we produce. That is unacceptable. We must change this. And that is why we are coming to say that we want to start turning around the country from consumption to production. Yes. A new Nigeria is possible. And we cannot let it happen. We can break down what is there. So all of us that are gathered here, I've been part of this coalition from day one. Because I've heard people say it's trying to defect or join party. I was part of this coalition from day one. So people know I was part of it when it was being discussed. I was part of it when it was launched.
Yeah.
I am saying that we are now calling. I thank all my leaders that are gathered here. You must have leaders if you must be seen as a leader tomorrow.
Yeah, again, the biggest challenge the African ADC will face is dismantling the entrenched damage caused by Nigeria's de facto single-party system. I think it's the challenge Nigeria would face fighting corruption. Yeah, again, I think, the single-party system even cuts across, and a lot of people in APC right now were formerly in the PDP, right? So it's still kind of a uniparty system, and I think that's where I would say someone like an Obi is different, because even though, he's been in PDP, I can't say it was part of the chaos that PDP brought to Nigeria. But that being said, that is going to be the one-party system machine, because the way the APC goes to all these other parties to also kind of look at their weak points, which all political parties do, is what is really fascinating to me. I hope they're able to work around that. We listened to Kenneth Okonkwo yesterday, and they were bringing out questions, asking him about, hey, what's happening to Dumebi Kachiku? What's happening to this other honorable that has been expelled from the ADC? And Kenneth Okonkwo said, well, they don't really matter. They've been expelled. They are not this, they are not that. I'm saying it's better you call these people now, okay, settle them, or bring them on board, or, have an agreement with them so they don't cause a problem in the future, because these are the kind of things that the ruling party will want to actually, come into play. The why is that it's politics. The resistance they had as a governor is different. As at a national level, the Saudis is better off supporting PO at a national level. It's no brainer. Yeah, if PO is on the ticket, either president or VP, he's going to get massive votes from the Southeast. He's going to get massive votes. Look at what happened in 2023, right? Yeah, whichever way. And I think that is a plus. And you could see that the old momentum has changed since he defected to the ADC. So now the question now is ADC able to capitalize on that move and start building their structure so that it has a deep root across the nation. And I think that will be the next thing. There's a lot of work that needs to be done from now, possibly for the first quarter of the year. I'd like to hear your opinion on how ethical it was to invest state fund in enterprises where its private funds were also invested. Again, if you're talking about morals, that's a personal thing. And I'll talk about ethical stuff. If there's no law that actually prohibits him from doing that, then it's going to be very difficult. Again, that's what happened in Lagos with Alpha Beta too. Again, except there's a law, and that's what the National Assembly should be doing, or the State Assembly, should be looking into. But again, if there is no law explicitly forbidding him to do that, then there's really nothing he can do. And I guess you're talking about the money he saved in Fidelity, right? For the state and all that. Yeah, Happy New Year, Philly. Hi, Augustine. Yeah, let's just go.
Leaders here. Ashkudema is here. Augustine is here. Samuel is here. Beno is here. All these people are mentioning today, as you know, Abari is here. And now these are people who are my senior.
Abari also defected to ADC.
In politics, in everything. And I'm telling them that we say we'll be a family. We are not going to be a family of crime. We are not going to be a family to deprive other people. We are going to be a family of change. A family that will create new Nigeria. That is what the family is all about. We want people tell us story in midst of plenty, and we're hungry. So we have all come together and to ensure that we become fully member of this coalition of ADC led by distinguished Senator David Mark. That is how we come together. We will in the coming months be able to tell you what this coalition has that is different from what is happening today. Because we must know the difference. That's a fair point. From Osumo to Tommy, they can't be a professor for us. They know what professors are suffering today. So their professorship must come with new ideas. We want to be able to change the country. And we are not just on ourselves going into ADC. We are also making other people from other political parties. All the opposition must come together for the sake of Nigeria. Whether they are PDP, NDP, or any other party, we are faced with the essential threat which we must all fight for the sake of our children. A new Nigeria, productive, all-inclusive, united Nigeria, where we will see each other's love, where we will turn around the economy, starting from agriculture and manufacturing. The empty lands of the north must be cultivated. While the factories in the southern part of the country must now function, be employed people. Thank you. May God Almighty. We must then do that and ensure that we will now talk about how we are going to create wealth based on proper physical policy that creates wealth by ensuring that we enrich the people. So we can enroll those 80 million Nigerian youths. We want to give them a home to drive everything. One of the things that I learned in Indonesia is that 95% of the employment comes from small businesses. And we made the youth. I went everywhere to see what they are doing. And it can be done in Nigeria. Imagine when we empower 80 million youths. And those 80 million youths either employ themselves or have one more person. We won't talk about unemployment in this country. Yes, sir. That's what we're doing. And we have people, senators here, dignitaries here, look at us. We have Ostobu here. He has been dividing advice on the economy. We want that he has advice to work on. We look at the name of Gochubu. There's so many of you that are gathered here. Let us come as a family under the ADC coalition led by David Man to turn around our dear country, to stop this lamentation, to stop this crying, to make sure that people in Nigeria can go back to their houses, go back to their farms, to make sure that no Nigerian wakes up hungry. Thank you and God bless all of you.
Okay, so that was a speech, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was a speech. Okay, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So officially, a full-blown member of the ADC. Why is he unethical? If his own money is vested, I would think he believes he thinks it is safe enough for state funds. The question is, what is the ROI and what benefited from it, him or the state? Yeah, fair question. Yeah, I never said it was unethical. I think it was a question like if it's ethical, but I kind of understand the argument that the person that asked that question. I understand the area where it's coming from. Yeah, but again, yeah, I just said it was something that the only thing that people do ask is it's good to save money, but I think if you really, really want to move stuff forward, I think those monies are best spent, on infrastructure or productive assets that would help move your state forward. And again, one of the reasons why is this: when you put those money in saving stuff, you don't even know who's going to come after and possibly spend it, because then those that came after, they were saying that when Soludo spoke, he said he doesn't even want to know how much is left of that money. That's what Soludo was saying. So if you invest, I would rather invest more, in productive assets. And that's why people like Dangote, they seldom save. As he's getting his money, he's taking more assets, taking more projects and all that. I was asking the person on the comment section, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, that's a fair question, actually. As you know, a democracy can only thrive through the progressive evolution of the Constitution. What's your opinion on Obi's failure to contribute to the evolution of the Constitution? I don't get that question. What do you expect him to do? I think he was just a state governor. It didn't serve at the National Assembly, level. So it's going to be very, very difficult. Except you're saying that he should add that to his manifesto. I think that's just that about that. But we'll see what happens. And then we're going to see how, they're going to take things from here. Let me see. One of the things that, has come up also is the fact that after all this, I saw in news saying that Peter Obi, let me see this, Peter Obi's move. Let me just see this one. I'm going to pause this and see. Okay. All South. So this is 8 hours ago. All 5 Southeast governors united under President Tinubu. What is this? Governor Uzodinma. What? All of them? Dude.
The governor of Imo State, who is also the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, says all 5 governors of the Southeast are united in their support for President Bola Tinubu's administration and his re-election bid in 2027.
That's not good. Coming from Southeast, that's not good for Obi. That's not good for Obi. I don't even think all the governors in the Southwest are united. At least we can see Sheyi Makinde of Ibadan saying that he's not going to bulge for Tinubu's administration this time around. So that's something that the Obi's team needs to start working on. Because if you have all the 5 governors, wow, I don't know. And again, the South, you already have all the governors as APC governors.
Made the declaration while speaking to journalists after a courtesy visit to the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, at his country home in Isialangwa South local government area.
Now let's see that.
It is a new year, is visiting East Front
yeah,
of
I just want to move on to
Southeast
see
focus
if
on
it makes
constructive
any
engagement with the federal government.
Any speech. Okay.
And we in the Southeast.
Okay, yeah, this is the speech.
Extremely very well. And we in the Southeast, we have even resolved not to do tribal politics anymore. All this so-called political rascalism must stop. We are now part and parcel of the country called Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the 5 governors of the Southeast are all supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies and his good governance system.
He described President Bola Tinubu as a strong political brand.
Wow. I don't even know where this leads to. You know, I still believe that if Peter Obi is on the ballot, he's going to win. Okay. I think he's still going to win, but I don't know where this leads.
Expressing confidence that his performance in office will earn him a second term.
In the Southeast, even though that is not the business why I'm here today, I've come to visit my dear brother and to wish him well. But I can tell you, those of
and that's Alex Oti.
Now, both those who are here and who will watch you on television tomorrow, that the 5 of us, governors of Southeast, are decided to make sure Southeast is part of Nigeria. And that is what we are working on.
Responding, Abia State Governor Alex Oti welcomes the visit, describing it as a demonstration of statesmanship and matured leadership. Governor Oti notes that it was neither logical or beneficial for state to play opposition politics rather than simultaneously being stakeholders in the same federal system.
Take the issue of different political parties as opposition, they miss the mark. You can disagree, but there are fora for disagreement. But once a decision has been taken, you are part and parcel of that decision.
Wow.
So it is normal to ask if the state government is supporting the federal government. Of course, the state government is part of the federal.
He adds that governors across the Southeast are committed to working with the federal government to advance peace, development, and economic growth in the region and across the country.
Wow, we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's just a lot of work to do. But the reason why I'm happy is just that at least now we can just say, you know, it's a one-party thing. We've seen a lot of heavyweight players defect. Okay, and then we'll see. No, Alex Oti hasn't. I think Alex Oti is going to remain in LP for now, but he hasn't indicated that he's going to defect. So again, we'll see what happens, and yeah, hopefully things works out. I don't just know, but at least I love the competition. I love the fight, you know, and that's it. Let me see. Peter Obi left Labour Party. Didn't Atiku leave PDP and Amechi leave APC? This is Aisha Yusufu speaking. I'm gonna leave that. Leave that and see if I can actually talk about what's happening again. I think we're done with that. Obi's ADC move under the microscope. What it means for Nigerian opposition. Okay. Issues with Judy at last. Obi joins ADC, boost the ADC chances. And this is coming from TBC Nigeria. Kenneth Okoko slams his president's speech and addresses. Okay. Wike in fight to finish with Makinde, Bala, Fubara, and Sonny. Wike is fighting his own political battle right now. And it's just quite interesting where things have actually gone. And we can see him also moving along, you know. As regards evolution of the constitution, Tinubu champion local government creation, my question goes to address Obi's failure in addressing even one of the again, you know, that you can argue for against that. I think again, I wouldn't want to actually put that on Obi's doorstep, or, you know, again, it's more like an overarching idea, which seems to be not just a state level alone. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else I can actually go through here. Okay. I'm just saying, let me see if I can. I have some things that I did bookmark. with respect to this. I don't want to go to Fubara. Yeah, tells, let me see, Peter Obi throws away this, will resist regain. I've read that ADC faction rejects Peter Obi's registration, cites constitutional breach. I don't understand who this is or what they're talking about.
Just days after Peter Obi's high-profile defection to the African Democratic Congress, a faction of the ADC led by Fubara Gombe has come out swinging, rejecting Obi's registration and calling it a violation of the party's constitution.
Faction insists that Obi's registration...
Oh, okay, I see what's happening. So, you know, there's a faction also in ADC. And this is what I'm saying. They need to bring all this faction under control. You don't want to go this way. Why do you say Peter Obi is a joke? Zuki. Why?
At the Enugu zonal office is invalid, citing a breach of the party's ward-level registration policy. This move threatens to derail what many see as a strategic coalition building effort out of the 2027 general elections. But not to worry, we do have our guest who joins us here. He's the chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Mr. George Ashiri joins us live, and thank you so much for being here. Here we go again. Another one right in front. Another one not right in front of us, we're journalists, but right in front of you, another political party. It started with the PDP, went to the SDP, the former beautiful bride, and then moved to any other political party that would raise its neck up to say, hey, we are coming right as opposition. What would you make of this one? Invalid? Is it really invalid?
My brother, it's too late for those who are trying to inject their toxicity into ADC. It's too late. We crossed our T's and I's and the dots and whatever it is as a party of law and order long before the coalition was established. So all of this is the usual saber-rattling, sponsored, supported by those who probably thought because we did it successfully in these other parties, we could do it in ADC. So you cannot have people call themselves faction that are not recognized by anybody. Nobody has joined them. There's no coalition around them. They're not recognized by INEC. We are state chairmen, duly elected. None of us is part of what they're doing or even are aware of what they're doing. And what happened in Enugu was Peter Obi declaring for ADC. Very likely.
Okay, so it's nothing burger, right? It's nothing burger. I think at the end of the day, they just want to let's say, oh, we're still here. We are the ADC faction. Peter Obi is, I think, is now a solid ADC member, so there's no need. Constitutional reform is not driven by personal activism alone. It's shaped by access, platform, and political context. Yeah, I do agree. He moves from one party to another. He has no stability. That you're talking about Peter Obi, and Nigerian politics is not like that. Yeah, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed was a patient man. That's why he's where he is today. Yeah, I mean, you have a point there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, you know, it's all about interest, right? We'll see what happens over there. So this guy, this is a 1 day ago interview. So this guy has been expelled from ADC, and he's actually an House of Rep member. This is where formerly the de facto ADC members before it became this coalition. He's been expelled because of anti-party, I believe. He's also claiming that ADC, that this new crop of ADC gangs are not the real ADC member. But again, he's out there.
Service to speak to the people on this issue, especially now that your party, the ADC, has gained significant, what you call political stature, given the caliber of persons who have made inroads into that political party. I was looking at the numbers from the 2023 presidential election and the way journalists and every other person who does analytics of candidates and their performance do. When you look at the election, APC won, followed by PDP at 6.9, APC 8.7, 6.9, PDP 6.1, Labour Party 1.4, so NNPP. Altogether, if you look at it in percentage, these four parties took about 96% of the entire vote. Every other political party, we should now say maybe about 16 others or 14 others, shared 4%, and ADC fell among those 4%. Some of the persons who are part of the big 96% now are now in your party. It looks like in 2027, your party is going to give perhaps the APC a run for their money. Doesn't that excite you, Honorable?
Well, thanks so much. The analysis you have just rolled out is not going to be the same in 2027. All those parameters that made all those things possible, all those factors are no longer there. I want to tell you, Peter Obi got that vote based on religion and tribal sentiment. People, especially the northern Christians, believed that they would be in trouble if Asiwaju comes in as president. They believe that they will not have room to exercise their faith. But it's not like that today. You can see, even from the last statement from Bishop Kuka, you know that there is a different belief, a different notion entirely from what they believe in 2023 general election and what is playing out now.
Okay.
The president handled the whole thing. They know it's not a religious bigot, and he does not believe in extremism of any religion, either be a Christian or Islam. If anybody is capitalizing on what happened in 2023 and calculating that if they put article vote and put Obi vote, they're going to beat APC, it's just like the person is building castle in the air. So, me, I still maintain my stand. The leadership of ADC today is in crisis. And until the court decides.
So this is an ADC guy, okay? This guy was actually never part of APC. He actually was in ADC as of 2023 when Obi was not there. And he did run an election in ADC, although at the local level, and he did win. Again, I'm just saying, Obi should have been patient, work harder like the present president, and then you will see him declare himself as a Milokan. Okay, I know I'm not PO, but I would too if alignment gives me a better chance. Also, if he's incorruptible like he present himself, moving around, fits the narrative. I think we're all Southern. We are all Southern. We support him, assuming he has a party stability. President Tinubu is patient, and he build a wall of great men around him. Again, yeah, I think on that note, I think there's going to be, what will I call it again? There'll be that question, and he better prepare for that when he goes for interview. Like, tell us about how you've moved. I think there's also a clip that that's been circling around with Ruben Abate asking him that when defection was not even a thing, you did leave. Again, I think he should just have his good answers and all that. Someone was talking about Obedient Movement as evidence. So the Obedient Movement is not a political party. And when I was going through the Anambra election, I did mention that they're going to be having a big problem because the guy that even spoke was not speaking as an LP member. He was speaking as an obedient. And when you go to the ballot, there's nothing like obedient on the ballot. It's the political party that you have on the ballot. So again, you also want to give Peter Obi some grace with respect to that, because that guy came in almost a year to the election and he was still able to get 6 million votes, which is really great. But that's just what I'll put. Again, the Obedient Movement, I'm saying that they need to actually get involved in the ADC, and we'll see people starting to get involved. Aisha wants to register, and I believe if Aisha registers as an ADC member, she's going to pull some other more individuals to join. That's the only way they can actually effectively, take over, or at least have a presence, if not take over, but have a presence in ADC.
They can say this is going to be the fate of ADC. To me, they are welcome. We welcome everyone that comes, but if you want to join properly. For example, the Peter Obi that went to Enugu. Enugu is not his state. He's supposed to go to his ward and register from his ward. Then it can be recognized. But if you go to
yeah, but you can easily do that. I mean, you don't need to. You can easily register from his ward. You don't need to televise registering from your ward. You can actually bring the registration also from the ward to him where he's in Enugu. I mean, Peter Obi is a national player right now, so I don't see that as a problem.
Donor office and you register as a politician. This kind of politics is a new system to me. I'm a grassroots politician, so I know how it plays out. If you don't register in your ward, you are not a member of the party. That's how it is. But they are welcome, and we'll see what is going to be the outcome of all this jamboree that is ongoing.
So besides your disagreement on how they are joining, I mean, whether they are registering at their ward and all of the leadership issues that you're talking about that is in court, you talked about. I know that, for instance, INEC recognizes the leadership of David Mark. I can see their name. I had to go check again. The Senator Mark, Ogbeni Rauf,
it was a mistake on the part of INEC to recognize them.
Oh, how was that a mistake?
Constitution properly. Okay, let me tell you how it was a mistake. You know, our constitution as it is was last amended in 2022. I have been in this party, I told you, since 2017. I have been a member of this party. I've never joined any political party. So the last amended constitution was done in 2022. And it's there that you cannot hold national office except you are 2 years in the party. And not only that, if any political party amended its constitution, it must domicile it. This is a constitutional matter now. It must domicile it in INEC within 30 days. This has not happened. There was nothing done to the constitution of the party.
So is he now saying that INEC doesn't even know what they're doing? I don't understand his argument. Yeah, I think most of you are seriously getting the obedient movement wrong. Yeah, with respect to what they are or what they're doing, right? Okay. Yeah, again, maybe we're getting it wrong. But I'm just saying that how, what happens, no matter what ADC do, 8 years is for sure. It's written. My brother Buhari was there for 8 years. It's Southerners' time too, and the Yorubas, for that matter, the main brain box behind Nigerian politics. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, there's an election. Okay, we'll see what happens.
I hear people saying, the court has no jurisdiction in political matters. The court has not. Yes, court has nothing to do if you follow your own law. Your own constitution that is guiding you. Courts has nothing to do. But courts has something to do when you go against your own law that you swore onto to guide you. That is where the problem is. And I have been saying in section 222D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, stated that if you amend your constitution as a political party, you must domicile it within to INEC.
Okay, yeah. So again, that's I think that's his major point. His name is Abejide. Okay, and I think that's all he's saying, that the current crop of guys in ADC is not it. Okay, we'll see what happens. You don't know politics. Yeah. Okay, we'll see what happens with respect to that. Okay, I think for now, just take a breather. Hi, good morning, Chukwu, Oguchukwu. We'll see what happens. I have some bookmark stuff in here, and then we'll see what happens. These are just normal stuff that I just bookmarked today. This is the Venezuela stuff. I think we've already watched that. I'm not going to watch that again. There's this clip that is also going viral. Bishop Oyedepo. So apparently, I think Chris Okafor already actually took a picture with Bishop Oyedepo allegedly, and it deleted it. Bro, forget about the election. Your vote does not count. If someone else wins the election, it will be rigged. And the next thing you hear is go to court. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. It defeats the entire purpose. If PO acts like Tinubu, because there must be a clear difference. Nigeria needs to see and feel the difference. Yeah, the only challenge with Nigeria also is that they may actually be at a different pace than you. And for Nigerians to be able to see that difference and feel the difference, and then for you to see that difference with accumulating to vote, there's a process also. So it then depends. I look at the number of people that vote vis-a-vis the total population of those that are eligible to vote. And it begs the question, the numbers that are even coming out pales with respect to what you expect to see for people that are interested in making a change. And that's a problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ashwaja has been doing the underground work for 3 years now, and you can think Obi can use his lying tongue of his to deceive Nigerian police. It's not by mouth. It's not by mouth. Obi does not have. Okay. I'm not. You should have welcomed the big wig that just accept join your party. You should have welcomed the big wig that just accept to join your party. Oh, you're talking about Abejide. I agree with you. I still don't understand why, they're saying that, that faction thing. I don't know. I think it's not going to be a win-win. And that being said also, I think that the big wig also, just in a way to ensure that they've actually crossed all T's and dotted all I's, and ensure that whatever internal problems they have, they can solve it, should actually call these guys and talk to them. Like, you can't be a problem. We don't want this distraction. We're focused on winning, which is even an uphill battle as we speak. But again, it is what it is. Okay. So again, I started with listening to this guy, and some obedience are not happy that Peter Obi defected. Okay, and they're coming out to say they never thought I would defect, and we started listening to some, and that's it. Just have some other things in here. There's also this stuff that is going viral now with respect to some people, that also was kind of look more like a suppression of votes that happened in 2023. Kwankwaso is saying that he's actually going to consider leaving for the ADC, but we don't know yet, how that would be. I think all of this and more is gonna be we're gonna be looking at that possibly later today, as I need to actually call it a day and go now. You should have welcomed the big week. I agree. Without Obi, there's no ADC. Yeah, you can see the momentum. ADC, and possibly that might actually help move the conversation forward, and also help establish ADC as the second party. And I see that happening. I can't say that the Northerners are buddies with Tinubu with all this Boko insecurity, military raid, and Trump's move. I see they're not trying to make his tenure ungovernable. Yeah, that's the same thing they did with Jonathan. So the question then remains, what happens? Are they going to do this again maybe in another 8 years when you have, maybe let's say Atiku wins again and does this 8 years? Are they going to also do that when possibly now Peter Obi is the president? Just kickstart some terrorism stuff here and there so that they can, they can actually, cut the whole regime short. Tinubu will go for 8 years and there's nothing that would happen. Okay, no, I can't say, okay, Tinubu go, Evan will not fall. The Pew you are talking about don't even have the mind to drag it with Tinubu. Pew's defection has brought him down. Again, people are looking at it from different perspectives. Some are thinking it's a win for ADC and there's a chance. Some are saying that they're disappointed. Again, I think that actually him defecting, I have a different opinion that him defecting is one of the only remaining way that might give him a chance, at getting to the presidency. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, because that's again, it's a game of numbers. They are stronger together than Obi trying to run on an obedient platform or an LP platform. They are stronger together if they are able to actually vote. Now, if the win is another discussion that I may not need to go into right now. But they together still gives them a chance than they running separately. If Atiku is running separately and Obi is running separately, then just forget about it. It's going to be an easy walk for Tinubu. But now that they are coming together, I think there will be a little bit of a fight. And there'll be a lot of Australian. I know it's still an uphill battle because the structure has been captured already by APC. But, that's what it is. With Obi as president in ADC is a big blow to Tinubu. I'm not sure they're going to give him presidency. I keep saying that. I don't think they're going to give him. I think Atiku will still win the presidency at the primaries. And I'm not sure they're going to zone that too, because there's no agreement with anybody. ADC is a fresh party. Yeah, so there's no agreement. If you're joining, then except they've done a backroom deal. Except they've done a backroom deal, which we're not aware of, but we're going to know in the next few days, right? Yeah, you subscribe to my channel. I enjoy your analysis and perspective of some jobs. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate all the, all the disagreement, all the, also the various points that have been thrown in. It also kind of questions what we also hold. And I think it's good when even the person you support, you can actually criticize. It also helps you to kind of be much more like, independent in your thoughts. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Tinubu has done nothing for Nigerians. All he's done has brought us nowhere but insecurity and unaliving everywhere. Yeah, that's a fair point. And I think that should this is what I expect. Again, what I'm looking out for, with Peter Obi joining ADC is to be making moves that will keep the ruling party, on their toes. I'm also expecting some good opposition work because I've not seen any major one. I mean, Obi goes in, write tweets and all that, which is fine, but I've not really seen like solid opposition work since 2023. And the National Assembly is a rubber stamp. We all know that already. Pio will be stupid if he has not already confirmed his position on this new machine. Yeah, we're just waiting to see, how that works. There's been different school of thought. Some are saying that they've agreed that Pio will be president in this next election, and then Atiku will take over in 2031. Some are also saying that no, Atiku is going to be president, and Pio will be vice. Okay, and then Pio will then become president, thinking Atiku will just do one term. If Obi becomes VP, many of you are saying Obi will save Nigeria, save us in what way only God can save us. All these politicians are working together. Obi is a joke and has no structure. Well, now that's why he's trying to join the ADC. I think that gives him a better structure. If Obi becomes the VP, it means that it will be shared administration of government. Yeah, I would hope that would happen. I hope they don't Osibajo him. Just the same way Buhari sidelined Osibajo, except for the first time when they traveled and gave Osibajo the keys to the kingdom. Yeah, but again, I hope this can, the problem is all these agreements is that the Constitution would not even agree. The Constitution doesn't even agree on a shared administration. So again, it's all about promise, What happens if Atiku gets a little bit frail and has some disabilities when he becomes president? It becomes a big problem. That's what we had with Buhari, right? I would think we've already had that conversation they would have had that conversation behind closed door. I would also think so too. ADC is trying to shoot a silent gun. ADC is trying to shoot a silent gun. We'll see. Atiku would not even allow Pio to be president flag bearer. Atiku has been contesting since 1993. The guy has been trying to get the presidency since 1993, so I don't see Pio winning Atiku, except he will accept to be vice. Yeah, I think I think the vice will be good for Obi. And there's also one thing I said also that again, given what transpired between Atiku and Obi in 2023 when Obi left, I think the best way for Obi to get back to the graces of Atiku is to accept to be. Obi is the president for ADC, but it might be impeached after 2 years. We'll see. Obi has shown that he has constituent. It's different from Buhari picking Osibajo. Obi was able to show what he can bring to the table. Yeah, I think that is one good thing that came out from Obi leaving Atiku. Yeah, I think he was able to actually show that, I can actually mobilize. And he now has a cult base. Forget about those obedient complain that he joined the ADC. I mean, they will always come around. Obedience will always come around. If Obi accepts to be Atiku's vice, definitely he has no level. Oh, so what do you think he would? Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's that about that. I mean, a lot of things to cover, but now I just gotta go. And then we'll take it off from there, possibly tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching. I think today we did dwell a lot on what's happening in Venezuela, in Iran, or as Obama will call it, Iran. Okay, so we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully we catch up with all the news that's been happening in here. And then we'll also see what happens. The vice president of Venezuela is saying that, you know what, we want our Maduro back. And I think she's just playing. She's just kind of doing a cover face thing. I guess she already has, wants to take over as the president. Obi should have stand his ground. He would not have agreed to be vice. I don't know what he has agreed to, I don't know. The vision is only Biafra is away. Obi is the flag bearer, but it will do one time. Okay, we'll see what happens. I still feel that his best shot is to be the VIP, but I might be wrong. Okay, I mean we're gonna fight. In the next few months we're gonna know. Typically, when two titans like Obi and Atiku meet, they have to both agree on policies that favor Atiku but strengthens Nigeria. Both can be achieved. Atiku's businesses are suffering under this administration. I suppose Obi's last time, and I won my polling unit. Yeah, well, Obi won a lot of polling units. At the end of the day, is who wins the total. That really matters. I mean, also won in Lagos, won in some northern states too. So, again, I think he has some good shots. But right now, 2027 is different from 2023. The person you were fighting against in 2023 is now the president. And even him having so many enemies still was able to pull it off. So that's the consideration you have to look at. Yeah, but it is what it is. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate. Thanks for the subscription. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the chat. I learned a lot. I also gained a lot from the discussion. I will take it from there. Later in the day. If ADC wins, it will help put a stop to what is happening in Lagos, and the East can get back to the West in some ways. In one Lagos, that speaks volume. Yeah, I do agree with that. Thanks a lot, and have a good night. Bye. Or have a good morning. Bye.